Welcome to episode 234 of the official Gamestitch Podcast. I'm your host, Ryan Walton. As always, I'm joined by Dan Reamer.
Dan Reamer. That'd be me. In case you didn't know.
In the digital house.
The digital house? What?
Yeah, because
we're
not together.
We aren't together. In any sense.
Right, but that's true too. Let's just clear that up right up front. Let's just make that be known. Oh, another week.
Another one. Whew. You had a good week. I had a shit week.
It wasn't a bad week. Work felt like it was the longest week ever, which is strange because you had the 4th.
Yeah, but you had because you had to work, day off, work.
Yeah, 2 Mondays.
Yeah, fuck. That's why it was so long. See, I that's why I was off Monday and Tuesday. So
I couldn't do it. I need to save the time for when... See, here's the thing. When people I know that maybe make my job harder are off, I just go on in because that's like a vacation day.
Right, understand.
So if you're going to take time off, I don't even have to.
Right, because I'm going to be at work and you're not going to be there.
Right, I'll just come do my job. Don't even worry about
Which
me.
is incredibly important.
Right, so I did work both Monday and Wednesday. But we were busy, but they, are slower days because I didn't have a million people all telling me what they needed yesterday.
Right.
So, but it made the week seem just incredibly long. I feel like I worked 80 hours.
I understand, because I had a very short week, and my week felt long. But that's because work was actually involved. Anytime work is involved, it feels longer than it is. For me.
Yeah, isn't it weird how if you're sitting home playing on the couch playing a video game, you're like, oh, I just played for 3 hours and it felt like 30 minutes?
Yeah.
But I go to work for 3 hours and it feels like 14 days.
Yeah. It's like, oh my God, I've been stranded here for 2 months.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, no, it's lunchtime.
Well, I'm working. I feel like it's got to be lunchtime. I look down, it's like 10, 15.
Isn't that the worst?
What the hell?
You know what the worst is? Is when you're in the middle of stuff and you keep wanting to check your phone, the time. You're like, no, I'm not going to because it's just going to make it seem like it's a lot shorter. So you get all the work done and you look and then you do check and you're like, it's got to be lunchtime. And you're like, oh, what the fuck? How's it 9:30?
You're right. How have I only worked 45 minutes?
I made it a point to specifically not look at the time so that this wouldn't happen.
Yep. That happens almost every day with me. Every time. And then I do have a second where I get a little impressed with myself. I'm like, damn, I am efficient. I did all that work and it's still only 30 minutes. But then I get disappointed again because lunch seems so far away. And I take an early lunch for the most part.
Still there. That's the part.
I usually go at 11:30.
Work.
Just because that's about all I want to do before I go to break.
It's got to be a better way to make a living than working. Yeah,
there has to be. Sometimes you see the people who are doing it have a better way to make a living, and I get a little jealous.
Like who?
Like I was watching Tiny House Hunters or Tiny House, the one where they build the houses, Tiny Home Nation.
Tiny Home Nation.
That guy was like an artisanal butter maker.
What?
Yep.
He makes artisanal butter?
Yep. He's making some on the show, and I was like, you're telling me this guy just sits at home and makes butter all day. Not to knock the butter industry, but that's his job. That's his profession.
I don't even know how. So hold on, does he have the cows and
nope.
Goes right from the beginning, or
nope?
Does someone just give him the ingredients and he throws some other shit in there and makes it better?
Now, I was doing other stuff. The best I can tell, he does do all that. He pours the butter, all this stuff. He does that stuff. But he's not actually, he's just taking all the ingredients and combining it with, garlic and herbs and stuff like that to make this fancy butter.
Huh.
But that's his job.
That's why I don't watch shows like that.
He just wakes up and makes some butter. And I'm not saying it's not complicated, but that's a better way to make a living than what I'm doing.
To be honest, sometimes I feel like robbery is a better way to make a living than I'm doing.
It's true. I tell you, those shows on any kind of, and that one maybe not as bad as others, but if you watch any HGTV or anything,
they always have the stupidest jobs.
Well, they're I'm a writer. He works for a company that does barcodes. You're like, what the fuck does that even mean?
Yeah, I know. His company make UPC symbols. Yeah. I'm trying to write my first novel, so I've taken some time off work. So let's look at all these houses that are $350,000 each.
I swear, the one that was on the other day, that one that was on the other day, she made soap, and he was a writer. And they were looking for a house in the $1.6 million range. I'm like, what the fuck? He makes soap, and you're a writer? I know what writer means. It means you don't do anything. No offense, writers. And a soap maker, everybody makes soap. Get on Etsy. $1.6 million. How's that? I would be on there like I work my ass off and I have a budget of $130,000.
Uh-huh.
She'd be like, well, we can't find you anything, sir. She'd call a local realtor and take care of that because she can't be on the HGTV.
Right, because you don't want anything cool enough.
Yeah, not with that baby-ass budget. It blows my mind.
Yeah, no one's ever looked for a house under $100,000.
Well, they're never on there like, there's never anyone on there like, hey, I build cars for a living, or like I'm a welder.
Yeah, I know.
They always have these wacky ass jobs. Right. Like I make the handle that goes on suitcases, and we're looking for a house in the $8 million range.
Yeah, right.
I got to have an office, right? Because I work from home 4 days a week.
Exactly. I make custom lightsabers, and my wife is a professional cosplayer, and we're looking for a mansion on an island. We're looking to buy an island. No, you're not.
I love when they say it's got to have an office because I pretty much exclusively work from home. Oh, good. You don't even have to go in. Even better. I didn't want you to. I was stressed thinking that you had to work 2 days a week, but knowing you can do it all from home.
Now, to be fair, those people that have those jobs, I know this from my own personal experience, a lot of those people that have those types of jobs that are like work from home or that kind of thing, there are a lot of those type jobs out there. The reason I know that is because my wife was actually offered like a consulting style position, and she would make a butt ton more money. Mm-hmm. But she would literally be home Friday, Saturday. She'd be traveling all over the country the rest of the week.
But that sounds like a pretty okay gig too, though. If you want to travel.
Yeah, that's what I mean. But people with families, things like that, they don't want to do that. So that's why those jobs are out there. Because most of the time, also on HGTV, when you see those jobs, when people are like, "Oh yeah, I'm a shoelace consultant or whatever,"
right?
They don't usually have kids. It's usually a guy and his wife.
Right, it is. It's always a relatively attractive, like, younger couple.
Yes.
And I also love the request, because even though they have an outrageous budget, they want they're like, it's got to have an indoor basketball court.
Oh,
yeah. Got to have a pool. Floor's got to be heated. And it's got to come with a dog. And they're like, well, I don't think any house comes with a dog. They're like, find it, asshole. And then he shows them some house that comes with it. And he's like, well, this one's $130 million. So it doesn't fit inside your budget of $12 million. They're like, well, fuck me.
Yeah.
Guess we got to cut the dog out.
Yep. It's all...
all those shows, they're cookie cutter. They follow the template. And I love them all.
Yeah. I don't watch them anymore because I don't have cable. But when I did have cable, I was watching them all the time.
Yeah. And it's either that or it's the flip shows where they buy it and they're like, oh, we got to check the comps. Let's see what the comps are. We got to buy this house.
Yep.
And then they get into it. The comps either go up or down. Then they got to scramble to finish. They act like they're going to lose all their money, and then they make $140,000 on it.
And they always find some bullshit. Oh, we didn't plan for this. I don't know if we had this budgeted.
Yeah, every one of them. Like, why don't you just do like a extra fun, because something always comes up. I was watching Zombie House Flippers last night, which, if that doesn't sound like a great one.
Zombie House Flippers?
They basically take it back to nothing but walls.
Oh.
They destroy a house before they make it nice again, and but they set up these little like skits in the middle of it, and I can't even handle how goofy it is. Like, there was a squirrel that they found in the home they were trying to catch. It turns out it was a missing squirrel who's a water skiing squirrel. I'm like, no, that didn't happen. That didn't happen.
So they just made up a background for this squirrel?
No. I mean, it was some squirrel that water skis, but it just happened to be the one that was in their house. I'm like, no, that didn't happen. These people, they find like a wanted poster for the squirrel. And they get the owners, and then all of a sudden it's fucking water skiing because it's a world famous squirrel. That squirrel didn't get away.
I don't like the show. I don't like the way that's.
Or they found a headstone in the backyard, so they had to bring in this ground penetrating radar expert, and they kept saying GPR expert. And this guy comes and he's like, "There's definitely a box under there, and it's got air in it." So they come in, they dig it all up, and everybody's like, "What's in the box?" And they open it, and it's this teddy bear inside of a box.
Why are they digging up a grave?
Because they had to see what it was. To see if they had to get the DA and the coroner and everybody out there. It was a teddy bear in a wooden box. And I was like, this show is so fucking fake. Like no one buries a teddy bear. A big giant teddy bear. Like clearly they just did this for like suspense. Or he goes diving in this murky pool that was in the backyard because he had to let the plug out from the bottom or some bullshit.
Yeah.
He was like, hold on, there's a live animal, and they go to a commercial break with bubbles floating up, and then he comes up with like a alligator toy. I'm like, what is this show? Just show me the fucking house.
Yeah, I don't want to watch it. I don't. That doesn't sound like
It is bad.
my type of fun.
It was bad. But anything on HGTV or Cooking Channel, or I should say Food Network. I don't really watch Cooking Channel, but anything that's on either one of those, I get like Chopped. I watch Chopped all day.
I can watch Chopped all day too.
Yeah, I like Chopped a lot. The problem is that every other show that comes on has Bobby Flay on it. And I don't like Bobby Flay very much.
That depends on, because there's two. There's the Cooking Channel and there's the Food Network. And Flay's
Flay's on Food Network.
He's on Food Network. So if you watch the Cooking Channel, you have to worry about that.
Well, sometimes he does spots on there too, because my understanding is it's the same company owns them both.
Oh, I don't think I've ever seen him on that one.
But he's got like B. Bobby Flay, Iron Chef
maybe
America.
I have, because Iron Chef comes on, or Iron Chef America comes on.
He's got Iron Chef America, B. Bobby Flay, Throwdown, like Bobby Eats or whatever the fuck his normal show is called.
When the fuck does this guy have the time to fucking run his restaurants?
He's on next Food Network star, yeah. Dude is on every show that comes on there. And then I put it on Chop the other day. I love Chop, and it was the Beat Bobby Flay episodes. So there was like 4 preliminary rounds, and then you had to go against Bobby in the final. I'm like, this motherfucker.
That's not Chopped.
Stop being on here.
That's not.
Yeah, the last one was weird. You know, they do the appetizer round, or the entree round, and then if you made it to the finals and then beat all the other people, and you won the entree between the last two, then you went into like another entree round against Bobby.
Well, you're not a chef, so you're probably gonna lose.
Oh yeah, they were chefs though. Like these were like professional chefs on Chopped. The guy had 25 years of experience that went against Bobby.
See, fuck that. That's not what Chopped is.
Yeah, but Bobby's everywhere, and in his he's got the Beat Bobby Flay, where you come in with your recipe, your best recipe, and then he tries to beat your best recipe.
Yeah.
But he's just everywhere. And I don't really like him. And I don't like Giada either. And she's the other half of Food Network.
She is the other half. I don't like Giada.
Yeah, there's something about her. She seems really uppity to me.
Yeah, like she's all arrogant.
Just a little too pretentious for me.
Yeah, a little too.
There's a lot of speculation. I know people who listen to this podcast are going to care that those two were an item because they both got divorced relatively close to the same time.
I've heard that.
Yeah.
I pay attention to that kind of stuff too, yeah.
Yeah, see? Yeah. It's a little Food Network gossip for everybody on this video game podcast.
There's also the one who used to be on, who isn't anymore, that married a Frenchman and then he beat her in public.
Oh, I don't know anything about this.
It was a few years ago. I'm trying to think of her name. Oh, she was one of the pioneers, actually, on Food Network, because she's probably in her early 50s now. Damn, I can't remember her name. I cannot remember her name.
Is she still on there all the time?
No, not very often, I don't think.
So it's always, they'll do, Bobby and Giada are pretty much always on. And then Anne, what's her name? Anne whatever, with the spiky blonde hair.
Oh, yeah.
She's on a lot.
She's one of the...
Worst Cooks in America.
Yes, that's the one I'm thinking of.
Yeah. Rachel Ray.
Oh, Rachel Ray's still on, yeah.
But Rachel Ray is on like normal TV, right? Didn't the Rachel Ray show like come on like normal ass TV?
Yeah, but she still does.
She does Food Network stuff.
Something. What is it with Rachel Ray? 30 Minutes with Rachel Ray, or whatever it is.
And the pivotal third tower, the third leg of Food Network is Guy.
Oh yes, Guy Fieri.
With his Guy's Big Bites, Guy's Grocery Games, Triple D. So 3 people more or less make up all of Food Network with Bobby, Giada, and Guy.
Yep, they are it.
Like if you're doing a Rushmore, you put those 3 up there.
And then there's what's his face there? They have, what else do they have? The Pioneer Woman they have.
I like Pioneer Woman. I like her recipes.
Yeah. And doesn't what's her name? Shit, I just lost it. But
I'll tell you a cool
Nigella Lawson, that was who.
Yeah, I never heard of
got
that
punched
person.
in her face by her husband.
They a cool feature of the Amazon Echo though.
Mm-hmm.
When you're watching Food Network, you can be like, "Hey Alexa, send me the recipes that are on Food Network right now." And she's like, "Done." And I like that because they send them straight to my inbox. I have all the recipes from whatever show is on right then when you say that, and I like that a lot. I've cooked way more since I can do that because I don't want to go to foodnetwork.com, find the episode of the show, then find the recipe I'm looking for.
Well, see, I don't. What I do is I just go to a website called myrecipes.com. You can just type in like chicken breast. It'll bring up a whole bunch of chicken breast recipes.
Yeah, but sometimes I want to make the one I'm watching.
Oh, I don't ever want to do that.
And then I just search for it. And I'll just say send it to me and done. Open the email. There's all the recipes from that show. Click the one I want.
Robert Irvine. That's the other guy I was trying to think of. Yeah,
that dude is he loves the gym.
He's huge. He is.
He's
huge.
not. Is he the one? He's the one that took over Restaurant Impossible, right?
Actually, he's the one who did Restaurant Impossible originally.
So he's the one that lied about the cooking background?
Yes.
Somebody lied about being a chef.
Fibbed about his cooking back. He did cook on cruise ships or something. But
yeah.
I don't know that he was actually a chef or something.
Yeah, I like that guy. He lied to get on the Food Network. I don't know if he's on anymore, though. That shit might not have worked out.
Because he lied?
Yeah. It was a big controversy.
Oh, I remember.
Now, here's your first question. There's going to be a couple of questions in this show. Do you think anyone's still listening?
Possibly.
It's a coin flip at this point.
Yeah, it's 50-50.
I mean, it may seem like this is a Food Network companion podcast.
But we are not.
That's actually not what we do here. I know that it was entertaining. I know that there's good content there, but that's not even what we do here. That's a side piece.
Ooh.
Ooh. Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's like a side significant other. I don't want to say side chick or side bro because I don't know what you guys have, but that's like a side significant other right there.
An SSO.
Yeah, right. That's going to catch on too, I think. Significant side.
That way you don't give it away.
Right.
And the only people who know what you're talking about are the people that are in your boat.
Right.
Are those people on your team.
The people speaking your lingo. You just shoot a wink to each other because you know.
That's right.
No need to elaborate. I got you.
SSO, bro. Gotcha.
Right. Side significant other. You know what I'm talking about. You know what's up. In case you've never joined us before, we apologize. Sorta. I mean, this happens almost every episode.
Yes, we do apologize because you should have joined us before.
Well, yeah. But I mean, if you came here for video games, because that's what this podcast is actually about, and you just experienced the last 20 minutes of Food Network chat.
To be fair, I'm pretty sure Food Network has put out a video game. A couple of them.
Yeah, they have to, right?
That's the way it goes. It's what
Iron
it is.
Chef, I think, came out on DS.
I believe so.
Or Wii.
Cooking Mama, it's not Food Network related, but it is.
But we'll count it because it's cooking.
Because it's cooking.
Harvest Moon's got cooking in it.
Yeah.
Zelda's got cooking in it. I mean, pretty much Food Network dominates that market too.
Overcooked,
just by proxy. It's Food Network's really tied into the video game industry.
Right.
Food's all around us.
Food's everywhere.
You can't escape it.
You know, it's necessary for existence. To be fair.
Yeah, I don't want to escape it. I love food.
I do too. You know what pisses me off more than anything else? Actually, you might be one of these people. I don't know.
I'll let you know.
Is people who strictly eat food for sustenance.
Oh, definitely not one of those people. Well, so here's where I'm at. I'm a pretty big believer in the 3 square meals a day.
Okay.
So there is that part of me, but also I want to enjoy whatever I have for those 3 meals.
See, I know people. These are real people.
My dad is the way that you're about to explain.
It doesn't matter how you cook food; they're going to eat it because they need it to survive. Because it's food.
Oh, no, he's not that way.
Because
because
it's dinner time.
My dad likes to cook, but I think he only eats to stay alive. Like, he likes to cook, and he likes to cook for other people, but I don't know that he actually cares to eat ever.
Really?
Yeah.
No,
I never hear him just be like, "Oh, this is amazing." He just eats and he's fine.
No, I just don't like the people where, like, you know, you could put salt and pepper on a fucking dog turd that you found out in the middle of the road and put it in a frying pan for 10 minutes and put it on a plate.
Eat.
And they'd say,
right.
"Man, that was good.
Gotta eat.
That's dog shit. You don't. That was not good. That was just food."
But I don't think you have to be a food critic either. I think those people get on my nerves too. You've got to fall somewhere in the middle of just enjoying your meal.
I like when I cook, I like to cook. I have certain flavors that I enjoy. So when I cook for me, I try to I use those flavors in what I cook.
Right.
Crushed red pepper, Worcestershire sauce. Love them. I love paprika. I love the coloring that paprika gives to food. So I like my food to look good. I like my food to taste good. And I get a little upset when it doesn't. When if I try something new, a new recipe, and it's messed up, I get a little upset. I'm not going to lie.
That's the dice roll with new recipes, though. You just never know.
So annoying. But yeah, I'm definitely probably lean more to the food critic area, but I'm not at food critic, but I probably lean more than just eating because I'm hungry and I want it to taste good.
Right. Let us know about your eating habits. Podcast at Gamestitch.com.
Yes.
Title it has nothing to do with the podcast.
Or your cooking habits.
Right. You could do that too.
Or your cooking mama.
Your cooking mama habits.
Cooking mama habits.
If you like cooking in a video game, if you don't. If you like cooking in real life, if you don't. You a fast food guy? You fatty? Just eating that fast food every day?
Or nothing wrong with that. You maybe just, I'm hungry, I'm going to chuck down some M&Ms real quick. Whatever.
You a snacker? You like a little treat every now and then? I get it.
I get that little bag of Doritos to get me through.
You're way more of a snacker than I am.
Who,
I don't
me?
snack very often, yeah, but I eat way too much per meal.
Yeah, see, I don't eat 3 meals a day. I usually have a small lunch and I have a larger dinner, but I snack throughout the day, yes. I like an explosion of flavors throughout the day.
Yeah, I don't typically do the snacking. Like you never catch me with like a candy bar just smashing it like that. I don't really do that ever.
Oh, at any given time you can catch me with a candy bar.
Right. I don't know. It's just sweets don't do it for me. But I will have 2 plates every night.
Right.
That's the problem. I eat in bulk. Really, is what I'm telling you. I'm like Sam's Club of 3 square a day. And that's the Costco, if you're not familiar with the Sam's Club model. It means too fucking much is what it means.
Possibly a BJ's wholesaler.
Never heard of BJ's. Good name, though.
And I think those are about the 3.
This is the official Gamestitch Podcast. Each week, this team of best friends gives you all the video game news and opinions that you could ever care about. We wrap it up in the dumpster fire that is this show, where we talk about things like Food Network, Guy's hair, maybe we talk about that because it's time to give that hair away.
It's time to stop.
Different.
Yeah, you're 50 years old, motherfucker.
It's time to grab some new catchphrases. Maybe you're not the state bird of Flavortown anymore. Maybe you try something different. So we're going to talk about those things. It's going to happen. It's organic. This isn't your cookie cutter podcast. We just do whatever. We don't come in with a plan.
We do like cookies, though.
Yeah, we
at least I do.
Let me back up. We have a plan, but we only plan half the show.
Right.
So it's like our podcast is like a mullet. That's what I'm telling you.
Party in the front. No, business in the
business
front.
in the front, party in the back. Only we show you the back first, so we're party up front, we're business in the back.
We're the reverse mullet.
We're the reverse. We got long bangs, and we got a nice lineup in the back. So we're like the reverse mullet of podcast, because we're chaos up front, but in the back we're nice and structured. We're a typical video game podcast, but the one caveat is we only talk about the things we care about.
Right, because that's what happens when you have a podcast.
Yep, and if you want to support us, you can head over to patreon.com/Gamestitch. There's all kinds of tiers. We are restructuring those, but don't shy away from helping us out now, because we're not going to take anything away from anybody. We're just going to change how they work. So if you're getting something at $1, you're still going to get something at $1. If you're getting something at $5, you're still going to get something at $5.
That's correct.
We are changing the rewards to do something that to do some things that Dan and I are really excited about, and things that fit our vision a little better. And I think that you guys will be excited about those, and I think we're going to give you some easy ways to digest that content. And we're in the planning phases of that stuff now, and we've done some test stuff. So
and this isn't planning like things we've talked about in the past. We're actually in a planning phase on some things.
Right. We have spent some money. Right. We've spent some money on things that we were planning to do.
Yes.
Like it's a real thing that we're in the middle of.
Yes.
And I think you guys will like it. And I think we're going to give you stuff that's worth your value for helping us out over at patreon.com/Gamestitch. Remember, this podcast posts every Monday, 6 a.m. Central Standard Time on podcast services around the globe. But it really only posts on Gamestitch.com at 6 a.m. So you may be a little later everywhere else. Maybe 6:05, maybe 6:15. If you're Stitcher, maybe Tuesday at 4:30.
Yeah, Stitcher's a little weird.
I don't know what the fuck's happening there. They all get the feed at the same time, but it's slow. But I will tell you the quickest way to get it anywhere is to subscribe.
Oh, it's no doubt.
It's like I do. Subscribe to it. Pretty much every podcast service, even the janky ones, have a subscribe button. Just do that. You get it faster. You don't have to wait for it to hit Gen Pop before you can find it.
Or Libsyn.
You don't have to wait. Right.
Or any of those.
So let's jump into it.
Just subscribe. What do you got?
So this first story you're not going to care about, but I feel like we need to give it a little time because we're getting close, and it's a big release.
You're right. I'm not going to care about it. I also understand why it's on here.
So Splatoon 2, they had a Nintendo Direct for Splatoon last week, but you know how we record. Sometimes the news hits right after our show, so therefore you got to wait a little while to hear us digest it. But I'm just going to give you some of the big notes that came out of this Nintendo Direct. There are some. I thought it was fairly mostly a recap show. Most of the things we already knew about, but there were a few new things coming out of there. But mostly overview of what kind of we already knew. So here's a rundown of some of the biggest news about Splatoon 2. So they are going to support the game with free content, such as new stages, weapons, other gear, for a full year following its release. So I think that's a pretty big deal. I think we've seen free content be the way of the traditional big first person game. I think that makes sense more than paid DLC.
Me too.
If your game can support small incremental updates like Splatoon will, you can give them one stage the way Rocket League does, and I think that's going to be beneficial to the players. It's going to keep you engaged without costing you any money. They also announced that they're going to hold regular Splatfest competitions in the game for at least 2 years after launch. So they're supporting it with free content for 1 year, supporting it with Splatfest, which are the different tournaments that you do for at least 2 years.
It's kind of good that they're going to be doing those kinds of things for that, because especially, I think, right now the audience is kind of limited on Switch because they haven't made enough of them. That could change, but it's good that they're going to be continuing these offerings. It won't only bring new people in, but it's going to keep the people that do have one engaged. I think it's super important, and I don't know that that's a classic Nintendo move, but it's good to see that maybe this is one of a number of changes, like we talked about last week, that they're making that is maybe a little bit more customer and consumer friendly.
Well, as a Switch owner, I hear a lot of people say, like, you know, what if the games trickle off? What if there's nothing to play? I mean, they just came out and gave you 2 years for this game.
Yeah.
They're not planning on abandoning this platform. They just confirmed to you that they're going to support it for 2 years. And I think if you buy a Switch now, knowing you're going to get 2 more years out of it, the value is already there. If you're going to play something like Splatoon, obviously, if you're not going to play, you still have to gauge that off of you. But I think it's a smart move. Nintendo continues to surprise me with intelligent moves.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on over there.
Yeah, it's definitely strange. They also reconfirmed that some of the stages from the original Splatoon will be returning, but they also have new stages coming. They will have an expanded upon single-player mode, so a little deeper than the first game. But I do like that they're doing that. They've got a new weapon they showed off. It's an umbrella. So it works as a shield and as a gun, which is pretty cool because you can open it up to block.
Like the penguin? Batman's penguin?
Splatoon's a fun, goofy kind of game, and I think that kind of weapon makes total sense for this. So that'll be cool. I forget what it was called. It's got its name is right on the nose. It's like the Umbra gun or something. But they don't call it a gun because it's Nintendo.
The Umbra. Well, let me see here.
They did show a new map called the Art Academy, or Inkblot Art Academy, which is pretty cool looking. It's going to be one of the free maps. There was a pirate ship one. What is the name of this gun? They have a new test fire coming in a week before the game releases, so everybody can play it and see if you like this Splatoon. I like that too. I think that's a good move. You're not trying to hide what your game is. You know it's a good game. You want people to play it. Blah, blah, blah. I think that's a smart move.
Blah, blah, blah.
2 new characters, Marina and Pearl. People seem excited about these.
Are you?
Yeah, I mean, you can't have too many characters, so yeah. I think it's smart. The characters don't make any difference in that game.
Well, that's I don't know anything about it. That's why I was asking if you were excited or not, because I know you play the game. So it doesn't matter. I mean, you don't even see your character, do you? Really? Except for
your character, you customize your character, with hats and clothes, and that's a big part of Splatoon, is making your person look unique. So,
okay.
I don't think it's going to make any difference. They also announced Splatnet 2. So in case the Nintendo app didn't sound complicated enough, we've added another tier to this with Splatnet. So it tracks various stats such as the amount of turf inked with a weapon, most gears used. Additional service will allow players to view stages, schedule, blah, 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 all kinds of cute stuff. The most important thing, this is how you're going to chat with each other. Nintendo's full online service is not available right now. So the Nintendo Switch Online app allows players to set up private battles, allows you to communicate with your other players via voice chat, all this stuff, and it's going to be there for Splatoon 2. So you're going to get our first taste at what Nintendo's service is actually going to be like when Splatoon 2 launches. I don't think it's the full service. I think it is a small part of it that's running through this Splatnet stuff. Maybe they're separate. I don't really know. The point is,
it'll be interesting. This system worries me.
I'll tell you though, I was thinking about this a lot as we play, Rocket League and stuff at night.
Before you keep going, let me rephrase. The way I game, that this worries me.
I guess the reason it, and like I said, I've been thinking about this a lot. My cell phone's always right beside me when I play. And I sit in a stationary position while I play.
Uh-huh.
So to me, it's no different for it to run to the controller or the system or my cell phone. Like it's not any more work for me.
But the difference is you can. There's been times where you've been able to text or look something up while you're here. I don't know if you'll be able to do that because you have to. You see what I'm saying?
Sure. No, I'm sure it runs in the background. I'm sure you can close out of it and keep talking.
Okay, we'll see. I don't know. It's just I don't understand why. Why throw another technological device on there? Why not just integrate your current technological device? I've talked about it before. The more gears you throw into something, the odds are better a gear's going to go bad. Why add an extra step, an extra part? I just don't understand it.
Yeah. I don't know. Players can also purchase new gear and weapons through Splatnet. And the next time you jump into your game, it will automatically be there.
Nintendo had previously said that Nintendo Switch's online app will be central to the console's paid online service, which rolls out in 2018. However, a limited version will launch along Splatoon 2 on July 21st, like I said, so that you can take advantage of the voice chat and stuff like that. So we'll know really soon.
What are you going to do? Fortnite comes out on July 21st.
I mean, I'm going to play on both. I have a lot of time that doesn't work for me to be on my PS4. And so I will be able to play Splatoon without it affecting my PS4 time.
Okay.
And it not be a problem. Like, I play a lot of Switch now, and, it doesn't interfere with the time I play PS4. Also, I guess I should address that. I haven't talked about Switch a lot lately. And a friend of mine texted me who listens to this podcast and said, do you not play with your Switch anymore? I still play with it. I just got tired of telling you guys I'm playing the same games. I certainly have changed the way I play it. I probably, until this Zelda DLC came out, I probably was only playing Zelda probably twice a week. So I haven't played that as much. But I've definitely still been playing it. Played some Bomberman, played some Mario Kart, and I bought Snake Pass for the Switch, and I really like Snake Pass, so that's what I've been playing lately. And I've played my Switch probably every day for the last 2 weeks. I mean, I still play it. I just didn't want to give everybody the same update every week, but
still playing Zelda.
I still see the value there, and I still think it's a lot of fun. So I have not tapered off that. And the same person asked me about VR. VR is one of those things you got to set it up.
You got to be. So. I feel like you have to be in the mood, and you have to have the time, and those can be two contrasting elements.
And it's probably is different for everyone. I'm always in the mood for it because I really enjoy it, but I don't always want to set it up. So that is the part that gets me. There's never a time where I'm like, I don't want to play VR. Now, once I'm in VR for a couple hours, I'm ready to get out of it. Like, I've done it. It's great.
Yeah,
I
you've
enjoyed
said
it.
that.
Let's do something different. But when I haven't played it, like right now, it sounds great to go play it. I downloaded the Spider-Man VR experience. I really want to do that. It looks awesome. So I plan to do that. But so as of right now, I'll probably play that every couple weeks. Just to kind of update everybody on that. I don't play it every week. I don't play it every day. It's not a knock on the platform or VR in general. It's just I don't have a setup where I can just leave mine out all the time.
Right.
And if I could have my cord stretched all the way across my living room and just walk in at any point, slide the helmet on and go, I probably would play a lot more. But I got to move a coffee table. I got to set up a little mat so I can figure out where the fuck I'm at. There's a little bit of process. I got to get the cords out. I got to hook everything up. I keep my VR in a case, so I got to get it out of the case. I always clean it off before when I quit using it. It's just a process. It only takes about 5 minutes to set up, but that seems like a world when you're talking. I could already be playing a game in 5 minutes.
Yep. You can almost be done with a Rocket League match.
Yeah, damn near. Start to finish, I could probably be 3 minutes into a podcast or into a Rocket League match if I left it suspended from turning my PS4 on. So that's what's going on with Splatoon 2. Like we've said countless times, we are getting Fortnite. So there'll be some stuff to play really soon.
I have mine I finally pre-ordered mine. So
did you? Did you go with the 59 physical?
I did.
I'm still so torn.
I went with the 59 physical.
I'm a physical guy, but the problem I'm having
is that this is the first game you've seen where they're doing digital right?
It's not so. The disc-based copy is not a Founders Pack.
No.
So you still get to play the game early, but you don't get any of the stuff that if you were to pre-order the $59 version.
Right. If you pre-order
that's where I think
the 59 digital version, you get the extras, or you get just the game for $20 less.
Even if you do that, you still get some of the Founder Pack stuff. Like, that's the thing.
Right.
You don't really get anything for pre-ordering it physical.
Right.
But I'm such a physical guy. Like, I want it physical. But how much do I care about that in-game stuff? And because I don't know enough about how you earn stuff in-game and all that, I just don't know right now. So I'm probably going to be a fairly last minute on this because I'll be able to pre-order digital all the way up till it comes out.
Right. And to be honest, I just happened, it was just yesterday, I had some money left over on a gift card, and I was like, fuck it, put it towards Fortnite.
Yeah.
I still might cancel that and pre-order it on digital. I don't know yet.
I'm all over the place. With that. I don't know. I'm definitely getting it. That's all I can confirm.
But I've been going back and forth. Finally, I was like, you know what? I gotta shit somewhere. So
right.
I was like, here's a toilet. Okay, you guys. Yeah.
I mean, I definitely want the physical, but I want the stuff that comes with the digital.
Well, that's
where I'm stuck.
Yeah, that's like, Mass Effect Andromeda I got digitally on the Xbox so I could play it early. Mm-hmm. But I want a physical copy of it. So
yeah, I mean, I get it.
Huh?
I get it. I mean, that's where I am.
So it was on sale this weekend, so I bought it. I bought the physical copy of Mass Effect Andromeda for the PS4. Even though I have it for the Xbox One, and I beat it on the Xbox but
One. You don't have it to hold and to...
But it's not there. It's not
right.
Here. Look at this.
So what I do know is I am getting the $59.99 version. I just don't know if I'm getting digital or...
Which one?
For retail yet, yeah. That's what I haven't decided. But $59 is what I'm going to spend on this game. I think that's the right amount.
But I mean, this is what digital needs to do to go forward.
It's smart. The only other thing that I could see them doing is $5 discount on this. Instead of $60, they make this thing $54.99.
Yeah,
I already have the digital pre-ordered if they do. So I don't know. I got that $15 PlayStation Network credit from going to the PlayStation Experience, E3 Experience.
Yep.
So I may just end up doing the digital. I don't know. But then if you pre-order going through if you pre-order from Fortnite's website, you even get 4 more weapons.
Right.
So much going on here. So much going on. I'm going to have that game, though. I'm excited about that game.
Me too. That game, I think that game is, we're going to have a lot of fun with our group of people because each of us is geared towards one of the styles of play.
I agree.
I think is why it's going to work so well for us.
If this game isn't fun, then I was just totally off on what I've watched. I mean, I've watched people play this game. It's been in early access forever.
Yep.
I'm just totally mistaken if this game isn't fun because it looks perfect for us.
Yes. I agree with that.
I'm really excited about that. Now, Splatoon, I'm not going to have anybody to play with. I don't know. I played all of Splatoon, the first Splatoon, with no one to play with, and it was fine. So I would love to jump in with friends, but I think I can enjoy that game solo and be fine.
Well, you kind of have to, right?
Yeah, I don't know anyone that's going to have it. I only know a few people with a Switch, and I don't know if any of them are getting... I'm not sure if Thomas is getting...
Splatoon.
Splatoon. This is a perfect time to shout out Thomas. Hello, Thomas.
Shout out Thomas. Hello, Thomas. How are you?
Maybe Splatoon 2 on the Switch, something to think about.
That's right. Shout out for you this week because you didn't send one in.
Oh, no, there's another one coming.
Oh.
It'll be similar, though. We'll give you a proper one at the end. While we're talking about it, hello, Garrett. How are you?
How are you, Garrett?
You are getting Fortnite, so we will be playing that.
Yes. And I'll save your shout out for the end as well.
Well, you'll have a proper one also. I just want to say hi. We want to interrupt the show.
He's not one in. He does have a proper one.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We just want to interrupt the show, though, and say hi. How are you guys? Thanks for supporting us over at patreon.com/Gamestitch.
We love you.
We appreciate you.
Not in that way, but we love you.
Oh, I love you in that way.
Ryan loves you in that. I don't.
Significant other.
SSO.
Yep, SSO.
It's taking off.
Next story. You have any Splatoon questions before we move on?
Me? Not a single one.
All right. It's a great game. You should play it if you have access to a Switch. Next story. Rocket League. You know, that little soccer car game that I talk about almost every episode. It just had its 2-year anniversary. They had a huge update, and I like it. We've spent some time in it. They have changed the structure of how you level up now.
I like most of it. There's some things that are still take some figuring out. I'm not certain about the algorithms on leveling up and down.
There is some.
They're wonky.
But it's never been an exact science for me to know how it does it, so it just kind of feels the same. I don't like the new search menu. I don't like the way you search now. I think the system they had was fine. While not classy, it was fine.
Oh, the one. Now they've got.
Now you highlight the whole box. I can't tell what I'm on.
Yeah.
There's tabs. It's just more confusing.
Yep.
That didn't seem like a necessary change. I do like the new season reward, the way that works. I think that's super smart because there is no longer smurfing, which is, most people know it's where you create an account to always be a low ranked person. You quit out. You don't ever level up so that your friends can play lower level people.
You don't have to worry about that now.
that will still work for leveling up, but it will no longer work for rewards, which is the main reason people did it. Because now you have to beat people who are the rank that you are. So you can play weak ass people all day long. It doesn't do anything for you. They don't count.
You don't level up.
Right.
Yep.
So I do love that change. I think that's a smart change. They are attempting to standardize the vehicles a little more with hitboxes and handling, and I think that's a smart move because there are some cars that just do not ever get played.
So how'd that work out for you?
You know, I played one match in the car that is in the classification that I usually use. It's the hot shot, which I never use. It definitely did not feel the same. The handling, I understand, feels the same. It felt different in the air to me. I don't know how standardized that is. And the hitbox, while the same size, the car's not shaped the same.
Right.
So that obviously changes the dynamic there a little bit. I would definitely have to play more in it, but I did not have much luck the first match I played. But I think it's the first match I've ever played in that car ever.
Yeah.
So
I don't know, but I know. Yeah,
I don't think I ever have even been in that car, other than maybe I might have, when the game first came out, I might have just tried it in a match, but I don't think I've ever played it.
I think I tried when the game first came out, I think I tried all the cars in like a season.
Yeah, I think I have a win in every single car, but I think I probably got that really early on when I didn't even know what I was doing.
Yeah.
And
you played
this is my first
baby car soccer mode?
Right. This is like the first match I've played in it where I know what I'm doing, and it definitely did not feel exactly the same. And I don't think they should feel exactly the same, but if you're good in something in that class, you should be okay in something in that class, I guess.
Yeah, so, yours was a pretty disparate difference.
Yeah, it was. But, a lot of it was still trying to figure the car out, and then it's tough to figure it out when there's two other people. I'd have a lot more luck figuring that car out if I jumped in one-on-one because...
Or training, even.
Training's so tough, though. I spend a lot of time in training. I don't know... I like it for things like dribbling and wall shots, and I practice those. I don't know how much I could learn about the car. I really need to play in it, but, it's hard with 2 and 3 people because I don't... I'm trying to figure out the car, and you guys are trying to win, and it's just too much. Because I need to just get a feel for the car.
I don't know. I feel like that first game we weren't trying to win at all.
I don't know. I was trying to figure out the car, and you two were raging out for some reason. I'm like, damn, it's an unranked game. I'm in a car I've never driven before.
I was not raging out at all.
You both were raging out.
I was not raging.
My blood pressure was climbing because of the attitude that
our friend
Howard had.
Our friend was a little bit, but
raging.
He did a lot of raging last night, though.
Yeah, I think he was probably tired.
More than, like sometimes he just gets upset. Last night, he was, he went into full-on shirtless Dan mode there a few times.
Right. So I want to give you some fun facts about Rocket League as part of the 2-year they released a little data, and I thought this was amazing. Even though you know how popular Rocket League is, I guess to see it on paper, you're like, wow, this is popular.
Once it's down in black and white, it's all true.
So as for the numbers, they've now seen over 33 million players. Keep in mind that doesn't mean they sold 33 million copies. Remember, this was PlayStation Plus.
Mm-hmm.
But they've seen over 33 million players. Still significant. Over the past 12 months. That's crazy.
1 year.
1 year. The game is averaging 1.6 million players every day and 3.3 million a week. 6.1 million every month. And in all, 1.5 billion matches have been played in Rocket League's lifetime, with players collectively scoring 6.9 billion goals.
That's a lot.
That's a lot. I'll tell you, though, 1.5 billion matches and 6.9 billion goals, some dudes are getting stroked on somewhere.
Yeah, they are.
Some goals are being scored in some of those matches, if you do that math. Because we play a lot of games that end 1-0, so somebody's making up for it.
Well, we also entered a few that were like 9-2, so.
You're damn straight we have. In terms of popularity over the past 12 months, PS4 had the most active player base with 41%. Xbox One was second with 32%, and PC coming in with a strong, respectable 27%.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, if you make a game, you look at those numbers right there, you feel pretty damn good. that is spread out pretty equal when we're talking about player base. And they got to feel pretty good about that. It's also coming to Switch later this year. So I want to jump into some of this other stuff. There's some stats I didn't put on here because I want to get your guesses.
Okay.
So let me scroll down here. So we're talking popularity of cars, toppers, boost trails, things like that.
All right.
I did put the most popular car in here. Did you read that?
No, I did not. I didn't read anything.
Okay, so of the original cars, not DLC cars, what do you think is the most popular?
It's either Takumi or Octane. I'm gonna go with Octane.
It is the Octane.
Okay.
Of the DLC cars, what do you think is the most popular battle car? Now, this one threw me off because I didn't realize this car was DLC. That's a hint. That's a hint for you.
I know. I can't picture which ones are DLC and which ones aren't.
So I'll give you this answer. It's the Dominus.
I was actually going to say the Dominus because I thought it might be.
I did not remember that the Dominus was DLC.
It came out. Yeah, I think it was part of the second pack.
Yeah, I think you're right, but I didn't remember that. Okay, so let's start with antenna. What is the most popular antenna? I would have never in a million years figured this out.
Most popular antenna, the smiley face.
Skull.
Fuck, that was going to be my second guess.
How about the most popular topper?
The Halo.
The Halo. How about the most popular decal?
Ooh, I don't know because that's so cars. It's got to be something on the Octane.
That's a good thought process.
But I can't tell you. I don't play with the Octane. I can't tell you what they are.
So I'll tell you what's funny about this is a friend of ours that we play with on most nights, Patrick. He drives an Octane.
Yes.
With a Halo on it.
Yeah.
And until recently, he always had stripes on there too.
Yeah, that's true.
That is the most used car. Is the Octane with a Halo and stripes. Now he keeps a flag, not a skull, but he's almost driving the most popular car. So, what do you think is the most popular boost trail? This one is deceiving.
Most popular. It is. It's deceiving.
Yes, because the answer is probably not the truth.
Oh. Bubbles.
It's standard red, which is what the car comes on when you create a new preset.
So people play a little bit before they realize.
Yeah, I think so. Or, I forgot to change the boost trail, but that counted, you know.
Right.
The most popular paint type is glossy. I'll just tell you because there's no way to really know.
Fuck gloss. Again, that's the standard.
Yeah, and the most popular wheels are OEM, and I do believe those are what come standard on the Octane.
Yes.
So that would make sense.
Pearlescent's the way to go, by the way.
Now, what do you think is the most popular import battle car, which is one that has come from the crate?
The Takumi RT1?
The Octane ZSR.
Oh, Jesus.
People love the Octanes, man.
I hate it.
I used it the other night. I didn't feel like I did bad on it.
Isn't it? It feels like its hitbox is too smoiny, too pointy, and really small.
Smoiny.
Smoiny.
Smoiny. It's small and pointy. It's smoiny.
It feels like it's got that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess if you get the perfect hit, yeah, it really drives the ball. But I feel like if you don't get the perfect hit, you have no idea what's going to happen.
I agree with you. So just to give a little esports background for you, when we're talking lifetime stats for Twitch, Rocket League has had 35 million total viewers, 5,375 years watched, and 600,962 content creators streaming Rocket League. Game's a big deal, man.
Yeah, it is.
And I love that it has become such a thing. Because I've always, we've always known we love it, but it's good to see that it has a very healthy community. Did I talk about that they're not going to do a Rocket League 2? Do you remember if I ever talked about that?
I believe you did. They're just going to continue to...
Yeah, they're going to treat it like a platform.
Yeah.
So, if you haven't jumped in yet, good friend of the show, Thomas, just picked it up 3 weeks ago.
Yes.
Fast learner, playing a lot. You can really see him getting better. The only thing is he's not able to play with us in competitive because it pulls our skill level.
Right.
And that's not fair to him, and it's making it tough. But besides that, I mean, he's still having fun moving up the ranks and learning. So you can still jump in Rocket League.
Yes, you can.
I think it can be done. That's all the Rocket League news. Why don't you take the next story, Dan?
Why? Because it's about Mass Effect?
Yeah, because you feel about it like I did the Splatoon news.
So. Yeah. Andromeda, Mass Effect Andromeda had a new update this past week. Just a few of the patch notes to go over real quick. Typical, each one of these updates has had facial improvements, animation improvements. That's no different. There's more. They're still finding things. Some minor glitches have been taken care of. It's just, this is what we've seen with each and every one of them, and it's actually shown, the game has shown significant improvements since it was originally released. Some of the big things here that came out is a new Platinum difficulty. Right now you've got Bronze, Silver, Gold. Platinum is the next step up. It's going to be even harder, give you more rewards. You also have access to a Veteran bonus ranks. These are cool because what they do is once you max your character out at level 10, you can still continue to max him out or to gain points for him, 11, 12, 13, and that adds to a Veterans bonus, and that gives you certain perks and buffs, which is...
Are these, we're talking multiplayer?
Yeah, that's multiplayer. The Platinum and that are multiplayer. Ultra-rare weapons are now much more effective. The Black Widow in particular has been called out as receiving a significant buff. Some of the ultra-rares weren't quite as powerful as you would consider an ultra-rare to be. Sometimes it wasn't even worth it to have it in your hand. So they made those changes and pumped those up a little bit. So now ultra-rare really means you should use this fucking thing. We know it was really hard to get. So start shooting people in the face with it.
Is that multiplayer also?
That's multiplayer also, yes.
Okay.
Let me go through some of these other things here. A lot of technical stuff that is very specific to quests or situations. I'm not going to go over all of those. We talked about the Platinum difficulty was added. We talked about the buffs. They added a new character in multiplayer, which is a Batarian. And interestingly enough, in the single-player game, there were no Batarians. So we're not really sure how this guy got to the Andromeda Galaxy. I believe there's some lore that does cover it a little bit. I can't remember if it's in the single-player or in the multiplayer. But it does talk a little bit about how he ended up there. And actually one of the good guys, because Batarians are known as being pretty much the scourge of the universe. Those are really some of the big ones, other than the lighting things, auto level fixes, some melee bonuses related to different skills, minor things that a lot of times you see happen when one update goes through, it affects something else. Another update comes through and changes those, and then that affects something else. So there's a lot of that stacking that's been going on with the Andromeda game. It's a huge game. It's completely understandable. The game was never unplayable, but it has gotten considerably better in the last few months. Today is the last day, I believe, of the GameStop sale. You can actually pick up Mass Effect Andromeda for $19.99. So if it's something you were considering, but you're not sure about, I would say go out and pick it up now. It's going to be...
Is that in Monday?
That ends Monday.
I wouldn't play it, but that's a good deal.
We could do the Horde mode.
I know, it's a good deal.
The Horde mode, I think you would have fun with. I've talked to you about it before.
$20.
Yeah, it is a good deal. And you'd love the customizable, leveling up, everything you can customize. I promise. So, yeah, if you're interested, go pick that up. It's an infinitely different, I wouldn't say infinitely different, but is definitely a different looking, different feeling, different playing game than it was when it originally released on March 25th.
Cool. If you have questions for Dan about Mass Effect, hit him at Shirtless Dan. He likes to talk about Mass Effect.
I like to talk about a lot of things, to be fair.
That's true. I do too.
About the mess. Have you watched Castlevania yet on Netflix?
No.
Are you going to?
I didn't even know it was out.
Oh, yeah. It's
No,
apparently
probably not.
It's apparently like 4 30-minute episodes.
Is it good?
It's getting good reviews.
Oh, you haven't watched it yet either?
No.
I've been watching The Comedians.
The Comedians?
Yeah, what Netflix has done is they've basically...
Oh, they did like Live at the Improv, like they used to do on VH1 and all that.
Yeah, so it's just 30-minute sets that comedians come up and do.
You got to do their best shit, too.
What's so good, though, I start one... So I will just tell you, if you have Netflix, you should watch episode 1 of Comedians, because the guy that goes, and unfortunately I forget his name, really very good. My kind of comedian. Episode 2, I didn't think she was funny at all. You know what I did? I just went to episode 3.
Right.
It works really well for that because they're only 30 minutes.
I'm trying to think, what did I just get done watching? My wife and I binge watched something. Oh, we watched Glow, obviously.
How was that? A lot of people talking a lot of stuff about Glow.
Glow was good.
Yeah, a lot of people saying it's good.
Glow is really good. It's a perfect amalgamation of the cast, the setting, the concept.
Yeah.
It all meshes together so fucking beautifully. It's amazing.
I might watch that.
It's a really good show. Well, we just got done watching Shooter. That's what it was.
Oh. Probably not going to watch that.
It's pretty good.
I've gotten to where I almost use Netflix just for stand-up. I almost don't do anything else with it anymore.
Really? Oh, I do. Well, I don't have cable. I don't have TV, so
I just don't watch any. When I have some free time, I'm on YouTube.
I watch
Twitch. Dude, I watch so much on YouTube. Probably take in 15 hours of YouTube a week.
Like what? Just random videos?
Yeah, well, I watch a lot of Alex Steele blacksmithing videos.
Oh, yeah, you're still on. I know.
Dude, I'm so fascinated. He just got a new shop. I'm so fascinated watching this kid blacksmith. And then I watch A Good Mythical Morning. I think those are still interesting and funny. With Joe Rogan, if it's a guest I'm really interested in, I'll watch the video version instead of the audio version. His podcasts are so long. A lot of times I'll finish watching, I'll listen in the car and I'll finish watching it. And then, of course, on Twitch, I've been watching a lot of, and it's going to lead into the next story. I've been watching a lot of Playerunknown's Battleground.
Yeah.
I enjoy watching people play that game. I think I would enjoy that game a whole lot.
You think you'll enjoy playing it?
I think so.
Really?
It's super janky right now. I don't know if they're going to fix that or if they're like, fuck it. But the game has sold 4 million copies and it's still in early access, so there's something there. And it's very entertaining to watch. So you're dumped in.
Now it's essentially a. If you've ever seen the movie Battle Royale or read the book or any of that, it's essentially what it is, right? It's like Hunger Games almost. Right.
It's got that and that King of the Kill thing that H1Z1 was doing. There's 100 people dumped in a map. Mm-hmm. It is squad based. What most people play is squad based. They have other modes, but so you get in there with 4 other people, and you're basically just trying to survive. The cool thing it does is the map gets smaller and smaller,
right?
And it's instead of just letting you hide, it pulls you into that circle, so you got to keep playing.
See, in the movie, that's how it was in the movie Battle Royale. It took place on an island, and everybody was wearing these choke collars that blew up.
Right.
If you crossed the boundaries, well, a beeper would go off, and they would section off a part of the island would be like turned on, so that if you went in that part, it would blow it up. And they announced the zones. So
so it's just really fun to watch people play. So the next story is that the full launch of Playerunknown's Battleground has been delayed.
Pushback,
but it's not too significant. It was originally planned to launch October, by the end of October. This is for PC only. They now have said that it will launch before the end of Q4
2017. It's important to note, though, we don't know if that's financial or fiscal, because fiscal year 2017 ends in March of 2018.
So we don't really know how much time they're giving themselves. The game's been in early access for a while. But in a blog post, Playerunknown himself, Brendan Green, said, "I've come to realize that restricting the window to a specific month could hinder us from delivering a fully featured game and or lead to disappointment within the community if the launch deadline is not met. So we've decided we're going to push the full launch back a bit from the initial 6-month time frame. But we want to assure you that we're still planning to release before the end of Q4 2017. I mean, it's fine.
Yeah,
people still play and enjoy the game now.
This is it just me, or is the more this type of thing happens, the more okay I get with it?
I think it's all in how you say it. I think this is the right way to say it. We tried to give you a time frame. We shouldn't have done that. If we put it out when we said we will, I don't think you guys will be totally satisfied. That's the right way to say it.
I find myself being less and less bothered by games being pushed back than I used to be.
Now, I think we can both agree, though, that the logical next step is to stop dating them until they're ready.
Right.
But
I do agree with that.
The messaging has gotten a lot smarter. This is the right way to say it.
The problem is you kind of have to have that date in order to create any kind of interest.
Right, that's true.
Otherwise, you can't... What you don't want to do is have a game finished and say, "Oh, well, we're releasing this 6 months." Because even once a game is, there's so many parts and they all come together so closely together that all it takes is one of those parts to go bad, and all of a sudden that game gets pushed back. Otherwise, you'd be stuck in a position where a game's done, but because of all these other things, it can't come out for a year.
Right.
And by now, that idea might not be what's in anymore.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting, and it'll definitely be interesting to see how this game translates over to consoles. And we also don't know if this is going to affect the Xbox One launch. This game was announced at E3 coming to Xbox. They were hoping to have something in early access by later this year, so who knows?
Not this guy. Xbox One.
Who knows? You just announced Xbox One really loud?
I did.
For no reason?
Xbox One is soon going to have a game gifting feature. You'll be able to buy... Yeah, you'll be able to buy digital games for people, right?
Why the fuck you can't already do this? I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know why you wouldn't be able to. This is perfect for... How many times when we worked at GameStop did parents come in and have no fucking clue what they were looking for their kid?
Yep.
Here, they can get with their kid on something on the Xbox, go through the store, and their kid can just start rattling off stuff they like.
Yep.
So, yeah,
it makes sense. Right? Hey, Dan, I want you to play this game. It's only $2. I'm not going to fuck with it. Well, here's a copy of it.
Right.
Like, it makes so much sense, and even though we're sitting here saying, I don't know why they wouldn't have this. Nintendo doesn't have it. Sony doesn't have it.
Yeah, I don't know why.
Steam has had it for a while. It seems to work over there. This is a logical step for a store, and I hope that everybody else does this too. I like this a lot.
Yeah, I think this is a great idea. It's... let's say I wanted to buy you a birthday present.
Right, you can give me a game.
This
is perfect. I want something.
This is perfect. Granted, it's digital.
But it requires the least amount of work for us.
Right.
I'm already on the store. I just give this to Dan. I know he's wanted it. I know it's his birthday. Done.
Right.
So smart.
Yeah, it's great. And it's going to sell games.
Yeah,
it's going to sell games.
Yep.
They're also looking into the ability to delete games from your achievements list, which you've earned no achievements, which, oddly enough, already does exist on the PS4, so it can't be that hard.
Right. Yeah, if they made it work on the PSN, God knows it'll work on Xbox Live.
And pretty much the last thing is that Halo 5, the exclusive for the Xbox One, it's going to receive a game update to support true 4K with the release of Xbox One X later this year. We already know about a number of games that were going to be upgraded for 4K, and it seems that now Halo 5 is going to be joining that list.
Man, I don't know about that Xbox One X.
No?
It's expensive.
I know it's expensive. It's too expensive for me.
It wasn't shown, in my opinion, to be anything other than a PS4 Pro. 4K is impossible to show off on standard TV when you're watching.
Therein lies the issue. That's the problem. People are going to need to see it.
Most common folk don't even know what a teraflop is. I don't really even know what a teraflop is.
Well, to be fair, Xbox or Microsoft has specifically stated that this is for the hardcore high-end gamer.
They don't have...
This is not a casual system for a casual gamer, and Microsoft never marketed it that way.
I just don't think they're in a position... maybe this was a plan a long time ago, just like Sony's was. I just don't understand who this is for and if they're going to make any money off of this.
Yeah, I don't either, but I guess that's not my problem, really.
I mean, it could be because this could take away from first-party games that they already don't have.
I don't know.
Is this the reason I can't play Sea of Thieves this year because it had to go back to the drawing board and get all these upgrades for One X? I don't know. Is this delaying games that I've been waiting for?
Yeah, and the problem is you will never know what those reasons are for those things happening. So
I can't wait for Sea of Thieves, but I'm starting to get a little scared.
Well, you think it's not going to come out now?
No, it'll come out. It's just taking a really long time. And I don't know if it's one of those situations where it's like, it's taking a long time because we're putting all this new stuff in there. I just don't know that that's what's going on with this game. I'm afraid it's not where it needs to be yet. And they still haven't given it a date, like a time frame, like nothing.
Kind of like Days Gone?
Like a game's just, yeah. Oh, I'm more concerned about Days Gone.
I don't know what I'm not certain what Days Gone is going to be.
I think you might see Sony just shit out Days Gone and just be done with it. And unfortunately, if that happens, that's going to be the end of Bend.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, without a doubt.
You can't work 5 years on a game that does not come together.
Yeah, I don't know. It could end up... maybe Sony's not marketing it right, but at E3, what they showed of it seemed to be very tonally inconsistent.
Right.
We're running. Okay, well, how come there's only 4 zombies when the last one showed 900,000 running after me? And now I'm talking to this guy, and now I have zombie wolves chasing me, and now I get almost decapitated by a... What the fuck is all happening here in the course of 2 minutes?
My biggest part of that whole demo was the gun was shot and the zombies went running, but then when he shot that guy in the head, no zombies came running.
The bear came running.
Right, but where are all the zombies that just came running? How does that... am I going to know when it's okay to shoot a gun and when it's not? I don't know. I worry about that game a lot. And just to be clear, when I say that I'm worried about a game and I'm afraid it might not be good, that's not what I want.
Right.
I want all the listeners to know, I want every game to be awesome. So don't think I want to be right on this. When I say that, it's just because I think... I'm telling you personally, I'm holding off pre-ordering that game. I'll play it, but I'm holding off on that game, and I'm holding off on pre-ordering it right now because I don't necessarily want to tell Sony I'm good with it as it is.
I definitely need to see more of it. Hello?
Yeah, I'm here.
Uncomfortable silence? Much?
Sometimes you just gotta let stuff soak in. Did you hear my stomach just then? I let a little growl out.
I did, yeah.
You hear that? I hope that picked up on the podcast. I just want people to understand how I lay my body on the line to do this podcast.
Or Fat Ryan's always fucking hungry. We have that too.
Look, bro, I didn't have breakfast. I came in here.
I know. Always fucking hungry. I get it.
I came in here and I just was like, I want to lay down some good content for the folks out there.
See, when Ryan says, he was talking earlier about, I'm a 3 meals a day guy. What he doesn't tell you is that he eats breakfast from 9 to 12, eats lunch from 12 to 4, eats dinner from 4 to 8, then goes to bed.
It's not how it works. It's about 30 minutes per meal. About an hour and a half of eating a day.
I know.
Roughly. Give or take. Breakfast is short, so breakfast is like a 5-minute meal.
Oh, because it's a McDonald's Egg McMuffin?
No, never an Egg McMuffin. Lately it's been a country ham biscuit.
From where?
From McDonald's.
It's McDonald's, though.
It just depends. Like, sometimes I do the biscuits and gravy from Wendy's. They're pretty good. Sometimes, if I'm feeling crazy, I'll do a bagel and cream cheese at home. Just depends on my mood, how much time I have. Sometimes I'll grab a protein bar. It really just depends on the mood. cheese Danish, something like that.
I don't even eat. I have not been to a fast food restaurant in I don't know how long.
I haven't been to a fast food restaurant since...
yesterday.
No, I didn't go yesterday, Friday.
Okay.
Yeah, it's been a while.
If it wasn't yesterday, it was Friday.
It's been a while. Last news story. Sony has released its digital sales for the month of June 2017.
Okay, before you get into this, there are some real fucking surprises on here.
I'm only going to read from 10 to 1 because there's 20 of them on here, and I don't think you need that info.
No. Top 10.
Yes, I'm going to do top 10. And remember, this is digital PSN across the PSN in U.S. only in June. So we can't worry about the other countries right now.
Right.
Number 10, we have Rocket League. Good to see it on the list. People still buying it.
People still buying it.
Number 9, Minecraft. Number 8, Tekken 7. Number 7, Horizon Zero Dawn.
So good.
Number 6, Battlefield 1. Number 5, God of War 3 Remastered. I think it was like $2. That's why that's
it was. But go ahead and go through the list and then.
Grand Theft Auto 5, always on the list at number 4. Number 3, Middle Earth, Shadow of Mordor, Game of the Year edition. Again, very, very cheap right now. And number 2, Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy, which is a shock.
Yeah.
Me. I can't even believe this is in the list. I can't even believe this many people care about Crash Bandicoot. And number 1, Friday the 13th, the game.
Mine's blown on Friday the 13th, considering all the people that couldn't play it. People bought it but couldn't play it, and apparently word of mouth didn't do shit because people still bought it.
Well, if everybody bought it all at once, they didn't know.
Yeah, that's true. A couple things on that I wanted to speak to. God of War 3 and Middle Earth Shadow of Mordor, Game of the Year edition. They were cheap, but there was a lot of games that were cheap that we don't see on this list.
Yeah, but those are big titles that were cheap. Those are games people knew were good that were cheap.
Well, I'm also wondering if maybe the recent announcements and showings... These games have been in the news recently.
I'm sure it matters. I'm sure people are thinking about the next God of War. People are thinking about the next, Shadow of War. Like I'm sure that matters.
Shadow of War looks shit. Did you play Shadow of War?
Shadow of Mordor? No.
Or Shadow of Mordor?
I have it. I have a physical copy. I never played it.
It was good. It's a good game. It was amazing. It blew my mind. When I got it, it was not what I was expecting at all. I mean, it's a good game.
And you got to remember, Friday the 13th is only available digitally.
That's true.
So that's the way they had to buy it. So you're getting all the sales for it, or you're not getting all the sales for something like Crash or
true.
Horizon. But I'm blown away that Crash made it 2 in digital sales. I still don't think people want to play those games.
Crash Bandicoot?
Yeah, for some reason, I watch those games. I don't think people want to go back and play them, but apparently I'm wrong.
Apparently? It appears you are.
Interesting.
I think that wraps it up for our news.
It wraps up the news,
right?
yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Big major week this week.
Yeah, we're still in that
Funky
quiet before the calm.
Yeah.
Post E3.
Before the storm, you mean?
Yeah,
right.
What'd I say?
Quiet before the calm.
That might be happening too. It's really quiet, then it's going to be calm.
When it's quiet, it usually is calm.
Not always. Sometimes it's like a really quiet panic.
I don't know what that is. I have never quietly panicked. I've never quietly
sounds
panicked.
like a Quiet Panic sounds like a match 3 tile game for iOS.
It sounds like a punk rock band.
Punk's dead. I
or
think.
It sounds like an emo band maybe.
Some screamo.
Yeah.
Now it's time for my favorite new old segment.
Your favorite?
Gone but not forgotten, where we reach back in our gaming past, we dust off an old classic, we tell you all about it. Maybe it's not even that old. Maybe it's not that good, but we tell you about it because we love it. You can look it up, watch videos on YouTube, or maybe even find a copy for yourself. This week, it's Dan's turn.
This game is not a particularly good game. It's not an outrageously original game. It's not even available. Well, it is available on console. I shouldn't say that. It wasn't originally even released on console. But this game came to me at a very important time in my life when I needed exactly this kind of game. And that game is Fast Draw Showdown. a live-action Laserdisc video game that was available in arcades when arcades were still a thing. It was released by American Laser Games in 1994. Do you remember Fast Draw Showdown?
No, I've never even heard of it.
Okay, Fast Draw Showdown was one of the Laserdisc games with videos. It was a quick draw laser light gun game. You played 3 difficulties. I think it was sheriff, rookie sheriff, or deputy sheriff, marshal. You had to go through 5 guys, and then if you managed to beat them, you actually got to go up against the person who at the time was, in the video game, the actual Fast Draw champion of the United States at that time.
Oh, shit.
So, kind of cool there. But when I played this game, I had recently graduated high school, joined the service, went to boot camp, and was at my first duty station. So, me and a couple other noobs, squids, so to speak, didn't know what to do. So we didn't know the area. We were all underage, so we couldn't go out to the bars and get drunk. So what we would do is we went to a lot of movies. Well, in this movie theater was a video game. One of the video games was Fast Draw Showdown. So we would go like all day Saturday and just go to movies. In between movies, we would play Fast Draw Showdown. And so Fast Draw Showdown was actually one of the games that made the major change in my life much more easier for me to handle. So there's a lot of nostalgia factor there. It's not a particularly good game. I think at one point it did come out for the Wii. It's kind of the last of those video Laserdisc games that you used to see in arcades all the time. But it was a really important one for me because of the time and place in my life. So this week's Gone But Not Forgotten is Fast Draw Showdown.
Never heard of it, but I do have a Laserdisc player, so I wouldn't have a gun for it, though.
You wouldn't know.
No gun.
No gun. No light gun.
Interesting, though. If you have a Gone But Not Forgotten for us, make sure you let us know over on Twitter at game_stitch using the hashtag GBNF, or hit us up, email podcast@gamestitch.com, put GBNF in the subject line. We'll read yours on this very little segment that we do. I guess the segment's normal size, but we'll read your little comment.
The segment is normal size, it's true.
Normal size segment.
Normal size segment. And
how's your segment? Oh, it's normal size.
Normal size.
It's not the biggest segment you'll ever see.
Not to be confused with huge.
Oh, yeah, huge. It's going to be huge.
It's huge. It's going to be the
just
best
like this
huge
podcast.
ever.
You want to make this podcast huge, head over to podcast.com.
Huge.
That's not a thing. What the fuck am I talking about?
Head
over to patreon.com/GameStitch and support us over there to make this podcast huge, just like our friends Thomas and Garrett did. They support us at the shout-out tier.
The shout-out tier.
And we have said before on this show, if you supply us with a shout-out, we'll read it on the show. If you don't, we will supply you with a shout-out. I think we got one from Thomas. Is that correct? Or from Garrett?
We got one from Garrett.
Okay, let's hear this one.
His is in reference to a conversation we had on Twitter. Mm-hmm. It is. Garrett Wade's shout-out this week is in reference to Xbox One, PS4, Switch. Hope for the best, prepare for the worst. Hoorah, Marine!
We were, you guys were talking about some of the current landscapes of video games.
Yeah, we were.
And that's where he left it.
He left it there. He's a little worried about... He's seeing some problems with both platforms that are kind of turning him off. Then I just kind of commented, yep, things are getting tough. Future seems some good things coming. Don't lose hope, and hope for the best, pray for the worst.
Never give up, never surrender.
Never surrender. No retreat, no surrender.
So Thomas did not give us a shout out.
Thomas did not. So you get to make one up for Thomas.
So I'm about to shout out Thomas, and I'm gonna use what I said earlier. Thomas's shout out is simply this: it's never too late to start Rocket League. No matter what platform you're on, you should be playing that game, and you should spend some time with that game, and it's special. And you're going to tell yourself, I won't do the microtransactions, I won't open the crates.
But you will.
But take this from Thomas. You will open the crates.
You will.
You will open the crates.
You can also take it from, I don't know, how many other people play?
Yeah, all of us. You can take it from all of us.
Right.
But Thomas made the comment, I will not open crates.
Has he
The next time we jumped on, he said, man, I opened a bunch of crates. This game will do that to you. It's a good time. You should play it.
It is.
Thanks for joining us, everybody. And if you want to shout out, support us over at patreon.com/Gamestitch. If you're not at that tier and you support us over there, thank you anyways. We couldn't grow the show like we want to without your support. And just because you're not at the shout out tier doesn't mean you're not special to us. You know what we're talking about.
And even if you're not on Patreon, it's incredibly important that you're listening and involved.
Yeah, tell your friends. It takes each and every one of you to make this show awesome, and whether you always give us money, you never give us money, even if you've never even told anyone about this show, you're incredibly important to us, and we love our community. We love you guys for listening, and we probably don't say thank you enough, but just know that we talk about it outside this podcast all the time, how much we appreciate our listeners.
Definitely. And then sometimes we get on and talk about it as well, like today, like we just did. See?
These are giving back episodes, helping hands.
It is. It takes a village. That's going to be our new motto. It takes a village.
Gamestitch, it takes a village, and everybody's like, "What the fuck is this podcast even about?"
To raise this baby podcast, it takes a village.
Yeah. It's called the official Gamestitch Podcast. Tagline: It takes a village, and then the first 30 minutes is about cooking.
That's right.
What the fuck is this? We don't even know. That's the thing.
Right. It's very possible that at times we are as tonally inconsistent as Days Gone.
That's true. That's 100% true.
We, however, are not. You should not be worried about us because we are A-OK.
We are also very consistent in being inconsistent.
Right. At this point, it's kind of
our thing.
Our thing. Yeah. It's
the more you know. That's what I'll say.
The more you know.
The more you know.
It takes a village.
The Gamestitch, the more you know. Like, you'll get used to it. Don't worry about it.
You can't keep changing the motto. The motto has to be something.
No, I can change it every day if I want. That's how this works.
Okay, new rule. We're going to have to compromise here because we're a team. Because we're partners. Not in that way.
We made that clear that up earlier.
We did. Now, instead of completely changing the motto, the new motto now has to be tagged on the end of the old motto.
I think that's fair. I think if you just add on to the world's longest catchphrase, I think that's a good compromise.
Right, it's a good compromise, right?
Yeah. So if it's like
everybody wins.
Yeah, if it's growing together or whatever, growing together, the more you know.
Right, growing together, the more you know.
Fuck the world.
It takes a village. The more you know. Fuck the world.
Yeah. There's commas and semicolons and there's all kinds of stuff going on, but we make it work.
SSO.
That's right. Hit us up, #SSO, if you have one, too. Congrats to you.
Yeah. Just be careful.
Yeah, maybe, you know what? Not a good idea to announce it on social media. But, hey, we don't have weak listeners, you know?
We don't. Be strong.
They're strong. They can take care of their own. We can't worry about their personal life, you know? They need to announce that shit. Be proud of it.
Let it be known.
That's right. If you want to follow us on social media, over on Twitter, we are at @game_stitch, GAME_STITCH, in case you've not been able to spell this whole time. It's a real problem in America.
I might still not be able to spell.
The more you know.
I was not ready for that. It takes a village.
I am at Podcast Ryan. Dan is at Shirtless Dan. We have a YouTube channel. Sometimes we put things up there, like this podcast. YouTube.com/GameStitch. Also, we stream out things like GameStitch Live. You can find that over on YouTube as well. And we have a Twitch channel that we sometimes use, twitch.tv/GameStitch. We're pretty easy to find everywhere. Facebook, Facebook.com/GameStitch, blah, blah, blah. You can find us however you want to do it. I will say, probably don't use the Discord. We're probably not on there.
Yeah.
I check to make sure no one's using it. You guys are not using it. We have ways to get a hold of you that aren't Discord.
Right.
We're making some changes to that. Discord's probably going to go away.
Yeah.
So if you're on there and you're like, these assholes are ignoring me, that's not true. Take that back. It's never been true.
Stop telling lies.
Yeah. Don't be a liar. No one likes that liar. Find us on another platform. Dan's better at Twitter than I am.
I'm still not quite as good as I could be. I'm working on it.
But I suck hard.
He does suck hard. Not in that
harder
way.
than you can imagine.
Not in that way.
Yeah, on social media. So if you want to get to me, there are ways, and I think you guys are figuring those out, which I appreciate. You working around my incompetence. It's nice.
Too bad that Ryan sure does wish the rest of the world took cues from you.
You guys could get a hold of some other people I know and just say, hey, work around him. He's fine. It's a great time, but you got to do it his way. I like that.
Unfortunately, you got to take a few steps down to hit to his level.
Yeah, it's our way or no way.
It takes
the more
a
you know,
village.
it takes a village. This feels long already.
It is long already. It's only 3 mottos.
I like a rotating motto, though, so people don't get too locked down with what we are. That's the problem if you're being too consistent with your messaging.
To be fair, I'm not sure any of those mottos are a fair representation of what we are.
That's probably true, and I'm 100% positive that we can't use the more you know.
No, that's
legally
NBC.
Speaking.
No, yeah, I know.
Legally speaking, I know that one's off limits.
So we need to take that one.
It takes a village we could probably use.
We might be able to get away with. SSO is definitely ours.
Yeah, significant.
Significant other.
Side significant other. That definitely could be used. You can make us your SSO podcast. Like your side piece podcast. Maybe you listen to one that's a little more structured, but you kind of like this trashy one, though.
You know what? Not above it.
Yeah, you kind of like you don't want to tell people maybe, but you kind of like this trashy one over here. And sometimes it's more fun than the big one, like the original.
Right.
We keep it around.
It's because we do things that they won't. That's why.
Yeah, and you don't even have to ask. We just do it. Because sometimes when you have to ask, it's not as cool as if they just do it. And that's what we do here with this podcast. Like you don't have to put we already know where you want our voices to go.
We know where we come from.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Roots.
We embrace it.
Right. Know your roots.
There you go. It takes a village.
And then when I say the more you know, we'll just have to beep that out.
Don't say the more you know anymore.
I'll say it. It'll just be a beep.
But I think we're okay because we acknowledge we can't use it.
Yeah, I think that's exactly how copyright works. As long as you say you can't use it and then keep using it, you're fine. I think that's exactly how copyright was intended to be used. We can't use that, and we know that, so we're going to continue to use it. But we're telling you that we can't use it. You shouldn't use it either. That's brought to you by The More You Know. Oh, episode 134. Man, that's a lot of 234.
234.
I went back 100 episodes. 234.
I feel like I want to go back and listen to 134 now and see how it was.
I bet you don't.
I bet I do.
I bet you don't.
I might not want to. Actually, that might be the last time it was just me and you.
No, I don't think so. I think
area.
back then, Matt was already back.
Was he?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know.
I don't know.
I was asking some people when they started listening, and I think Thomas said he started listening around 120, and we were all three together again.
Okay.
So I think he was gone from 80 to 120 or something like that.
Okay.
I don't really remember. This podcast had its up and downs. But I like to think it's mostly up now.
Mostly up.
We're pretty... I'd say we're above semi-chub status all the time.
Oh, yeah.
We're never flaccid.
Never flaccid.
That's it. Gamestitch, never flaccid.
Never flaccid.
That's
that can work. I'm pretty sure that's not taken.
I'm pretty sure no one is... I'll tell you, Viagra should be. Viagra, never flaccid.
Maybe. I don't know. It's a little too on the nose, don't you think?
Or hard to hold down.
Hard to hold down, okay.
Right.
Now
we're just rising up over here.
Now it sounds like a bondage fetish site.
Yeah, I'm into that too. Gamestitch. What I saw, Never Flaccid. Neverflaccid.net.
I thought it was hard to hold down.
Yeah, I changed it again. Neverflaccid.net. Check that out.
It takes a village.
Probably not safe for work, though. Episode 234.
3, 4.
How did I miss that earlier, that it was 234? I should have said it that way.
I don't know.
I like when they're just counting like that.
It's a lot easier for my
They're easier to remember because I forget.
For your simple brain.
Yeah, for my...
You do. You forgot last week. You forgot this
tiny
week.
little puppy brain.
Ant
yeah,
brain.
last week, though, you let it go. You didn't realize it either.
The first time I let it go. Then you said it again. I thought it was a mistake. You said it again, and I mentioned
it
to you
was a
that
mistake.
I'm pretty sure it was
a mistake. It's just one I continue to repeat.
Yeah, on your site, I thought maybe you had just said it wrong and didn't notice.
No,
you knew
wash,
which
rinse,
one it
repeat.
was, but then you said it again, and I was like, no, I think it's this.
I've had people say to me that they like the little bit where I forget the episode. That's not a bit. I can't be more clear. I just never have
not a skit. That is not scripted. That is Ryan's brain not working.
I just
literally.
never have any fucking idea what episode it is. I'm like a goldfish with episode numbers. I'm totally. And I asked, so Gerald, our good friend Gerald, if you saw on Twitter, he is keeping track of. Maybe it was a text message. Who knows?
It was a text.
He said
message.
that he is still keeping track of our Gone But Not Forgotten. We still have not repeated one, and we also still have not repeated a show title, which is fantastic.
Yeah, that's great. That's a win as far as I'm concerned.
That's so good, yeah, because I'm like a newborn every week when I name the show. Like, I'll do this. I have no idea.
I'll tell you what you can't call it.
The more you know.
That's it.
I might call it that. Fuck NBC.
Uh-oh.
Unless you're interested in NBC, and then call us. I'll edit out that part where I said fuck you. The More You Know is NBC Universal's long-standing cross-company public service initiative.
Yes.
And is in no way affiliated with The More You Know that we speak of here on Gamestitch.
No, ours is completely different.
I didn't even, yeah. It's like, the more you know about us, the more your ears like it. That's a Gamestitch, your ears like it.
Your ears like it.
I like that a lot. Your ears like it.
That's a decent motto.
Yeah. Good for your ears.
Not as cool.
Well, you want healthy ears, though. Nobody wants satellite dishes that aren't doing good.
I don't even know of many people who that occurs to, so I feel like that's not a demographic to shoot
It's like
for.
a bad set of ears. I mean, you get hard of hearing, but your ears don't just play out most of the time.
Right. It's not just up, Don. Or, it's, yeah. So, yeah, I don't think that's, like, somewhere to shoot for.
Yeah, ears, I'd say they're pretty tough. They work well.
Yeah, they do their thing. They might be the toughest part of the human body.
They might be the best part, yeah.
Because
noses don't really break down either, though. Like, they just hang out up front and do their thing.
Yeah, but they can cause, I don't know. Can you constantly sniffling or having sinus problems or...
Yeah, but they're there working. This podcast should have ended like 20 minutes ago.
Yeah, I know. Why don't you take us out?
But just like real life, when you think it's over, we just keep on coming. More and more.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't mean it like that, but it came out real dirty.
Mm-hmm.
I meant like we continue to do what we're doing.
Because we're the trash, that's why.
Yeah. Because you know that thing you like that other person won't do? We will.
We're in.
No standards here. This has been episode 234 of the official Gamestitch Podcast. Remember, tell your friends about us, rate us on iTunes, and kiss your children goodnight.
Good
like that little PSA?
Yeah, good night.
Don't be a deadbeat dad, okay? That's all I'm saying, listeners. The more you know.
Good night.
That's how I remember those More You Know ads while it's going.